Right now, though, we're joined by a guest who used to join us regularly, literally from, milking the cows or being out in the farm, when he was the president of Federated Farmers. And then in a move that I think upset some of the more politically correct members of Federated Farmers, he declared he was throwing his hat in the ring to be an ACT Party candidate. He was successful. And he is now our Minister for Biosecurity. His name's Andrew Hoggard. Andrew, lovely to have you in the studio in person, mate.
Yeah, good to be here.
I was expecting a swan drying gumboots, but you've gone all bloody corporate. You've got the ACT lapel badge, the suit and the tie.
Well, they won't let overalls and gumboots in Parliament. Well, I suppose I could try. Other people seem to get away.
Well, the Maori Party gets away with an awful lot, and, the Green Party can wear the tea towels.
Yeah.
Andrew, I just want to go back to your decision to stand, and it did cause a kind of kerfuffle and a lot of tut-tutting. How difficult it was, and why did you make that decision to swap out, to get more active?
I guess in terms of difficulty, I didn't feel it was. I guess the team around the rest of the board, they felt a bit of pressure because they wanted me to see out the rest of the term. They were, they'd been there for a number of them had been there for a few years, and I'd been there for more years. So I guess they really wanted for me to finish the term and send me off in style and all the rest of it. But yeah, there was a lot of, I sort of guess, pressure from a few within that, we can't have, that confusion and between, is this ACT Party policy or is it Fed standing up for farmers?
Yeah.
And so, the call was made, hey, look, it's best, I'll just stand down, announce what I'm going to do next rather than have the innuendo and all the rest of it and the confusion, because it wouldn't be, Feds needs to be politically apolitical, just speak to the policy, not to the parties. And so for me, it wasn't actually that hard a call. It was what's in the best interest of Federated Farmers, what's in the best interest of me. In the end, it worked out quite well because, if I had have gone straight from Federated Farmers to actually being on a bus campaigning 2 days later, I got a 3-month or 2-month break, which was kind of nice.
Yeah.
It was kind of good.
I have to ask you, are you fundamentally an advocate for the farming community in New Zealand who is now a politician, or were you always a wannabe politician who was a farming advocate? Because there is a difference between the two. You get what I'm saying?
No, I think I'm a farming advocate who morphed into a politician. I guess when I look back at if I go back 10 years ago, where was I thinking I might head up or end up? It was within, being on the board of Fonterra or Dairy NZ or something like that. That's where I was thinking I would get to. In each stage I took, it was always a case of, it wasn't an end goal, it was what's the next step.
Yeah.
And then when I got to Feds, been on the board for 9 years, I realised actually the corporate board governance type stuff wasn't actually what I enjoyed.
Wasn't you?
It was the representation side of it. It doesn't mean I didn't try and do a really good job of it, but actually the representation side, the advocating, that was what I was sort of most passionate about.
Yeah.
And so that, from where I was, it was either go back to the farm and do nothing, or, well, apart from farming, of course, which is a job in itself, or, this was the most logical next step.
Yeah. Now, you're the Minister for Biosecurity. Is that cabinet inside, cabinet outside?
Outside cabinet.
It's still not bad for this mate.
And food safety and associate ag and associate environment as well.
A lot. And congratulations to you. And I think this looks like a government or a coalition that has picked the best people for particular jobs. Biosecurity, incredibly important to this country, not just to farmers.
Yeah.
Keeping our borders, our livestock, our agriculture safe is an awesomely big job.
Yes, and I've, since I've gotten the role, I've heard about more new diseases and stuff that's out there that's even
a bit scary.
A bit scarier. Like on Friday, I was up at Auckland, so seeing the work that's happening in the border control at Auckland Airport, then went and visited the plant labs that MPI have there, and hearing all about a the foot and mouth disease of the plant world, which is ripping through Italy's olives at the moment. And so there's all these diseases out there. In particular, talking to Hauraki Gulf Forum about Calupra. So there's all.
What is Calupra?
That is the seaweed that is basically in the Hauraki Gulf at the moment, and it's a very invasive species, and it's sort of got the potential to take over that whole sort of Bay of Plenty, East Cape, Northland chunk, and just sort of be a bit of a monoculture on the seabed. And so putting a bit of effort into MPI have been putting a bit of effort into controlling it and looking at, is it possible to eradicate, there's a few trials going on. So there may be, some hard calls around, okay, is it possible to eradicate? How much money do we need? Is that even possible? This is a bit more complex than Cow 32's milk yield is down, isn't it? Yeah. I think I might be culling 32 this year, actually. That's one I can still know by sight.
All right.
Probably lose that in a few years.
Andrew, how have you found the culture change? How have you found the last few weeks inside the Beehive and Parliament?
To be honest, the culture within the ACT Party was one of the reasons why I was willing to go into politics.
Yeah.
It's like a culture of a small startup. Everyone's in there in the trenches. There's not that sort of internal politics or any of that stuff. It's just a real cool team culture, and that's why I was, I don't think I would have wanted to go in any other party, quite frankly. Politics, if you just said all the parties were the exact same politics and you're just looking at culture, I would have picked the ACT Party anyway, because it is a great team culture in there. So really supportive, and, I've got a great.
But you're working with two other parties, and I said to someone jokingly the other day, it's a three-way, and you never really think about it. It happens. Hey, actually, this is quite fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have done it sooner. But you are working alongside other politicians in a coalition government, which the news media tells us is like this unholy alliance of racists and Maori haters and stuff. How have you found that?
Well, it's quite interesting, because if you look at some of the other MPs that have come in, I've actually had a bit of a background with them in Federated Farmers anyway. So you've got Mike Butterick, Miles Anderson, who are two National Party MPs.
Yeah. Yep.
Miles was on the Fed's board with me. He was the meat chair when I was the vice president. Mike Butterick was the Wairarapa meat provincial
good
chair.
Blokes,
good blokes. Mark Patterson when I was the president. He was the Otago president of Feds. So I've got lots of experience of dealing with these guys and talking to them. So me and Mark,
you could almost form a cross-party like fence post caucus out of that, or you get together on a regular basis. And
I think there is the intention next year we'll do some of that sort of stuff. The guys that have the gumboot lines on their feet, and girls.
And for a lot of farmers who have felt, I think, for some time, that the agriculture or the rural community has not had a voice at the table, has been regarded by parties like the Greens as a pariah, I think that will be incredibly... that's what led to outfits like Groundswell.
Yeah.
The dissatisfaction that people weren't being heard. It seems to me that's changed.
Yeah, definitely. And the feedback I've had from a few people, I don't know whether it's true or not, but, someone was contacting me and said they were talking to, a farmer who was almost in tears over the fact that they were so happy that there were so many farmers in Parliament now to stand up for them. Yeah. And so the feedback I've gotten, when I'm talking to people, I ignore Facebook comment. Well, the Facebook comments on my page seem to be all right. When you go to the other pages, it's like
have
whatever.
a look at mine sometimes.
No.